All right, we are live, everyone, I think. Let me see here if everything is working. All right. So, yeah, okay, yeah. Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We actually got a few demos to go through here today, so I will get right into it. So first off, we actually have them from a Japanese producer called Yu Saku. So yeah, let's start listening to that one. All right, yeah. So where should I start? It's a quite nice melody, and I mean chord progression going there, especially this second part, the second drop here. Yeah, so this ARP melody is quite nice, but I think what you should try working on a bit is first off the mix down. I think like the kick drum is it lacks a bit of punch, especially in the low end. It's a quite weak at the moment, to be honest. So maybe increase the low end just a tiny bit. And also, I don't think like this kick pattern with dung 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 dung. I don't really think it works. It better with a straight 4 on the floor kick, and maybe to make it interesting, you can add some tomb pattern or something just to spice it up in the low end. But I think try to keep the kick pretty straight with the 4 on the floor pattern. Maybe do some double kick here and there to spice it up. But I think now it's get a little bit too it sounds a little bit too stressing at the moment, to be honest. And the whole mix actually sounds a little bit distorted. Like the whole, it doesn't look like that when I'm watching the waveform, but when I'm hearing it, it actually sounds a bit squashed, like the whole mix is a bit squashed. Yeah, so try to work a bit more on the mix, and also tone down the kick pattern a bit, make it more straightforward with 4 on the floor. And then also, like all the hats and everything, I think it's too much. I think you should try to tone down the hats and the shakers and make it a little bit tighter, so it's more like now it's very like it's a bit too much. So make it more straightforward shaker, also like then you can add some variation with some like hi-hat fills and like extra hi-hats here and there, so like something like that to spice it up, but try to keep it pretty straightforward, and maybe add some percussion or something to really spice up the drum percussion, the drum groove basically. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to send me a track, you can send it to my email. It's hello@slowtad.com. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for feedback on this track. I mean, the overall vibe is nice, but I think you need to work on the mix down and the whole drum programming mostly, I would say. All right, let's continue. Next up, let me see here. Wait. Okay, next up, Haikon. Let me know if I pronounced that correctly. Yeah. Wait. Nice energy. Yeah, really nice groove. right. Yeah, sorry for skipping a bit. I only have 1 hour, so I can't listen through the whole tracks. Okay, first things first. I love the idea here, and I really like the sound selection and like the general vibe of the track. It's really nice. I mean, especially in the beginning here, it really starts nice. It's a quite nice drum groove actually. Almost like organic house drum groove. The kick drum is maybe a tiny bit on the weak side, but I mean, it's also a matter of taste. Maybe I would like to just crank up the loudness and also the low end just a tiny bit, but I mean, that's a matter of taste. It still sits nice in the mix. Just one quick thing. I mean, this is obviously the original mix or the extended edit. For me, it always makes sense to have at least 1 minute extended intro. Now it starts here after 45 seconds. I would just do one extra section here, about 15 seconds before the first drop. It makes much more sense when you're DJing and playing it live. And I mean, for the radio edit, it will be a total different thing, of course. But yeah, and I think, like, as I mentioned, the general vibe is really nice, and the sound selection is really nice as well. And I think the mixdown is solid also. For me, it comes down more to, I think you need to choose what kind of elements you want to be like the main elements, because now there's a few things going on. You have this melody, you have this ARP thing going on, but it feels like it's missing a main lead element, like a lead melody. It could be a vocal, something, you know. Every song needs kind of a hook, you know, even though it's a kind of organic house song or more mellow song or underground song, it still need a main theme, a main element. And you have like this melody starting here. Yeah, you kind of have this melody. Dun, 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 dun. And then you have this extra melody. And I mean, it's kind of two main melodies, but I don't think, to be honest, any of those melodies are strong on their own, or that it's enough. So I would maybe try to play around more with trying to find like a main lead melody that really fits the track, you know, and really makes the track stand out, because I think like the other parts is really nice. But then also I think that you should try working a bit more on the transitions, like for instance here. Here you have this effect, like this riser or reverse symbol or what it is. But I think like this transition here needs to be a little bit more natural, I think. Maybe you don't need all those like hi-hats and stuff here in the intro. I mean, I like that it's kind of a abrupt transition, but it's a little bit too abrupt, I think. But I mean, this part is really nice, especially with this really tight hi-hats and stuff. I really like this part, this really minimal part here. Yeah, this is really nice. You should focus more on this vibe here, I think. Yeah, I mean, this part here is really nice, from like 45 seconds to 1 minute. Focus more on this part here. I think like you should maybe try to change the lead pluck that starts playing here. Dun, 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 dun. Because I don't think it's strong enough, to be honest. try to find something more unique, or maybe even build more on this ARP here, like try to play around with the cutoff and stuff, up and down, up and up, up and down, up and down, and try to find ways to make it interesting, because I think this is like the main thing here, to be honest. Yeah. And play around a bit more, so you keep it interesting, because now it just feels like you're adding new stuff all the time, and you don't want necessarily the track to go like this, up, 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 and then the breakdown, and the breakdown, building, up, 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 up. You can go with like building up, building down, building up, building down, so it goes up and down all the time. So yeah, so try to play around a little bit with that also. And I would say personally, I mean, it's always a matter of taste, but I really like this part here. This is my favorite part, so try to focus on that one, I would say. And I would say go down even more in the breakdown, make more cutoff, and scale it back even more, so we really get this balance of really like mellow breakdown, and then it builds up into the second drop. And maybe try to add some gritty bass or something. You know, I do this a lot in my tracks, you know, so I have like some kind of bass with some grit, and then I automate the cutoff on the filter, so you get this like really nice variation in the sound, like maybe something like that, especially in this part here. You know, yes, you get some grit in the bass, but I mean overall it's a really nice idea, and I would try to work a little bit more on the stuff that I mentioned. All right, great stuff. Let's move on. Let me see here. Who's next? Okay, let me see here. Okay, let me see here. All right, best intentions. You actually sent me 3 tracks, but I think that I will just go through one of them actually. Wait 1 second. Why didn't... Sorry guys. For some reason my... 1 second. Why didn't... All right, sorry, yeah. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so you sent me 3 demos, but I will listen to one of them and I will choose the first one, okay? right? Again, sorry for skipping, but yeah, we got limited time today, sorry. All right, kind of Afro House vibe to it. I need to be honest, I'm not a super big fan of Afro House. I was in the beginning, but I'm starting to get a bit sick and tired of it, to be honest. But I mean, with that said, this was a nice track, definitely. But for me personally, I find it quite hard to vibe, to really groove, you know, with Afro House rhythm, basically. Because for me, I really want something more driving in the drum sections, you know, with like a really solid like off hat and a clap, like something, you know, to really like get things moving and get that drive, you know. But again, that's a matter of taste from my side. And as I said, this is, I mean, it's a nice track. For me, again, personally, I mean, or let's start with like the technical stuff. I think like in the matter of like mix down and all that kind of stuff, I think it sounds quite solid. Yeah, so the mix down is quite nice. It looks like it's mastered already also. I mean, maybe I would like to have the kick drum a tiny bit more powerful, especially in the low end. It feels a little bit weak, but I mean, that's also a matter of taste. And I mean, for like the overall track, I get not a lot of feedback really, but I mean, I would personally like a bit more melodic stuff in there. And again, some kind of lead melody or some kind of lead element, because it feels quite empty, that you're really like you're really waiting for some kind of lead to start playing, but it isn't. I mean, this, you have this arp here, which is nice. Yeah, so I would like maybe some kind of more like some kind of lead element or something to really like make the track stand out and be kind of unique, you know. But I mean, again, that's a matter of taste, and I don't listen to a lot of like this kind of Afro House vibe, so this is maybe like within that kind of style, I don't know. But yeah, and apart from that, I mean, I have no feedback really on like the mix down or like the technical stuff. Quite nice. All right, let's keep moving, guys. Who's next? Oops, sorry. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, next one, Luther Dive. Okay, never heard of this guy actually. Let's have a listen. Quite nice track actually. Like the melodic parts are really on point here. I really love this vocal sample that you have going on. Super cool, and also the chord progression is really nice, and I also like how you put together all the notes and everything. So I mean, the arrangement and the melodic parts and like all that kind of stuff is quite nice actually. So I wouldn't change much there, but what I would try to take a look at is more like the technical stuff. First off, I mean, I really like the mellow vibe to it, but it really feels like it's missing quite much sub actually. For me, it sounds like there's no bass, and I mean it's a really nice minimal kick, and I think the kick is nice. Maybe again a little bit more loudness in the low end of the kick, maybe a little, but I mean also a matter of taste. But it's a nice minimal kick, and I really like it. But I would really increase the sub, and also like the sub and the high sub, or like the low mid, maybe around 200 to 400 hertz, somewhere around that also. And here try to let's try to get some more grit in the bass here. You don't want a lot of high frequencies, but a bit more mid, so you can really like hear that something going on under there, and then you slowly builds it up. Yeah, I mean this part is really nice here, but I would really like to have a bit more sub and a little bit more like low mid basically. And I don't think it's just to work with the EQ. I think you need to add some extra element. I think increase the loudness of the sub bass, and then add a second bass, and like low cut it, remove all the sub, and then you put a high cut on it, a filter, and slowly increase the filter throughout the whole track. Yes, you get, especially here in the beginning, so you get like the low mid and the mid from the bass. You don't need a lot, so maybe you can high cut it from like, let's say like 300 hertz, nothing about that, but just to get some, you know, of that like mid grit basically. And I think like the pattern of this like this thumb pattern that you have going on there is really nice, but I'm not sure if I'm a super big fan of the actual sound of the toms. I think they're a little bit too high, you know, like the notes. Maybe try to, I mean, keep the pattern. It's really like that's really nice, but try to make it a little bit more lower, maybe even one octave lower, you know, so you get this really nice. I mean, a great reference would be, I think, let me see here. Sorry, one sec. I mean, Claire does this a lot, and it's really nice. Let me see here, Claire. Let me see. Maybe this one, for instance. Yeah, like you can hear his. Or this one, I think, like, yeah. I mean, this is kind of the same pattern, but I think his toms is a little bit more mellow. So maybe just try to EQ them, round them up a little bit. because now I think they're a little bit too loose and have a little bit too much tone to it. So just try to make them a little bit tighter. And this is a great reference, actually, this one from Clury. But other than that, I think like the whole, like, the vibe of the track is really nice. Yes, now it's just a matter of like the sound selection and getting the mix down 100% right. But I think it's a really nice idea, definitely. Okay, let me see. Let's move on here. Okay, K-Ban. Let me see what you have to bring. All right, cool vibe. So yeah, what do I say? Like the vibe is quite nice, and it builds quite nicely, you know, with this kind of mellow vibe here, and then you have this really like big second drop, which I love, you know, when you have a really big difference from the first drop to the second drop. Yeah, so I think like this piano is really nice, actually, very organic, sounds really nice. Yeah, so the mix down is okay. There's a few things to work on, but mainly I would actually work on the drums. I mean, I talk about the drums always, but I think the drums is such an important element in the track, especially in electronic music. It really makes the whole track. And I think here I would first of all probably change this snap or clap that you have playing. Try to make something more unique, maybe like a rim or something, you know. Listen to like you know, like these kind of tracks. Let's like yeah, for instance, Yeah. You have more like a more of a rim rather than just a clap or snap. So try to add something more like unique. And also try to make the whole drum groove swing a bit more like, and then you can start out quite mellow here, and then really build up. Like here at this part, you really want like, and put some swing on the drum groove to really enhance, because you have some swing on this piano groove here, so to really enhance that like swinginess or whatever you call it. Yeah, because now basically you have like a kick and like an open, like a really short open hi-hat, and then like this snap or clap. And I would probably try to change all of those. Maybe you can keep the kick, but try to really spend a bit more time on the drum groove, I would say, to really bring out like some swing. And you know, maybe try to add a bit more acoustic elements. Maybe search through Splice on like disco drums or something, you know, like something, you know, to make it a bit more interesting and organic. And maybe some percussion, like yeah, I don't know, something like that. But I mean, the melodies are nice, and this like detuned lead that you have here going on, and this piano thing is really nice also. Yeah, these piano chords are probably the best part. But yeah, nice vibe overall. Try to spend a bit more time on the drums. All right, let's continue. Next up, Mike Cole. Do I pronounce that correctly? Let me know otherwise. Super excited about this one. I really love all his stuff actually, so I hope this is a really nice organic house vibe, or maybe progressive house. Let's see. Okay, let's start. Yeah, sounds kind of proggy, deep progressive maybe. Nice. Groovy from the start. Sorry for skipping just a little bit. Yeah, all right. Again, sorry for skipping. I'm feeling so bad, but I mean, you gotta give me a break. This is an 8-minute track. Yeah, looks like we got a quite nice gang in the comments also. What's up, boycott? Shouldn't you be at work now? I mean, isn't it like 8 o'clock in the morning for you? Yeah, no. Yeah, so yeah, quite nice track actually. One thing that really caught my mind is actually that you could probably cut down the time of the track quite a bit actually. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of long tracks, and of course this is an extended edit, so it's gonna be longer for sure. And I mean, I sometimes make songs that are about 8 minutes long, but I don't think that you necessarily need it to be this long. You could probably cut it down by maybe 1 minute, 1.5. And yeah, sure, multitasking, yeah. Yeah, so what I would try doing actually is to, like, this first part is like mini breakdown. You could probably do that like 30 seconds before actually. So maybe around here you can bring out that mini breakdown. And I would actually I mean, at this part here, because it feels a bit empty, you know, I'm actually miss some kind of melodic element. Try to add some, you know, like piano melody or maybe a guitar melody or something like organic, not necessarily like a synth lead or something, because this is kind of a, you know, electronic sounding track, if that makes sense, which is nice. But what I like to do, if I have a lot of like digital samples or whatever you call it, I like to mix that with some organic and natural sounds to really get that nice balance, you know. So maybe try add some kind of organic piano melody or some guitar if you play guitar yourself. Maybe have a friend or find a good sample or whatever. But you know, just something like this part here, like. Yeah, whatever, but you know, just something to really like tease with a melody, and then you can bring back this kind of vibe here, because I think this part is here. So yeah, I would move all this part here, like this mini breakdown, bring it out at maybe 1:30, and then have about 30 seconds, and then you bring out this second part of the first drop. And I would try to bring this melody a bit earlier also, so maybe cut this part by 30 seconds or something. And here again, so maybe at this part bring out some kind of melody, tease it, and then get back to this vibe here. And then at the second part of this part here, you bring out the melody again, maybe with some chord change or something, you know, just to keep things interesting. Which you have here, you absolutely have it here. You have this nice chord change here, but I think you need some kind of top melody or something, some kind of lead melody. Again, you need some kind of hook, you know. Yeah, and this part is here. I would actually try to make this transition even more smooth, maybe by do some more automations. Not necessarily do automation on the whole drum bus, but maybe on each individual tracks, to maybe, you know, decrease the volume of the open hi-hat and the shakers, so it gets really like mellow in the end, so it's almost like it's no drums, and then it transitions into this part here. So like so it really nicely. And then what you can do also, which I do sometimes, is that I put a reverb, like a really big reverb, either on the drum bus or some of the main drum elements, and then I automate the wetness of the reverb and builds it up towards a break like this. So you almost can get this kind of swoosh effect like that with the reverb. That's also a nice transition thing that you can try. And maybe you're doing it already, I don't know. And I think like this part here needs a bit more work, because again, here you would like to have either some kind of melody or some proper build-up or something, because now it's now kind of floaty and there's some kind of melodic elements in there, but you don't have a main lead element that you can focus on, you know, that you will remember. I think like no matter what kind of track it is, you should always be able to like hum the melody afterwards, you know, some kind of lead melody or something to really make the track rememberable, you know, and kind of unique. You know, in my head I really hear like a big reverby kind of guitar lead, like electric guitar, like with slow notes, long notes, like yeah, something like that. Yeah, I want something. I want to cut off the royalties if you're using that melody. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's a quite nice foundation, because I think the track is like 80% there. The mix down is there. The sound selection is nice. The kick is very strong and solid. The drum groove is very nice. It has this really nice progressive, like deep progressive vibe, and I love it. I think just try to cut down the unnecessary parts, and I mean, I find myself in this place also sometimes, that you really think that you need a long track and that it's not possible to cut it down 1 minute to 1.5. But trust me, I think you can find some parts that you can remove to make it a bit more interesting and keep up the energy, and also try to add like a main lead melody or something. All right, guys, let's continue. We have a few demos left, so I will try to go through them quickly. Again, Mike, great stuff. Okay, let me see. Cream Mix. He actually sent me. I would really appreciate if you send me either like a demo link or like SoundCloud link or something. But okay, let's listen. Cream Mix, Desert Ride. Yeah, okay. Sorry, um, I have limited time, so I'm skipping quite a bit now. But I mean, this you can clearly hear that this guy hasn't probably produced for that long. I mean, it's it's a few nice ideas in there, but it's very rough at the moment. So I wouldn't be able really to give. Well, I would, but I mean, it's quite much feedback to give, to be honest. But just to give some major things that you can work on, like. Well, first of all, I would work more on the drums, add some shakers, some percussion instrument, Foley sounds, something to make it a bit more moving and interesting, like something like that. And the bass is actually quite groovy and nice, but and the kick needs, I mean, I would probably change the kick to something with a bit more punch, more low end, and yeah, more power pretty much. Yeah, and also this is not my kind of like vibe and style, to be honest, so it's hard to give like solid feedback, but I mean, if you just listen through the track like fast, it feels kind of static also, like it's almost the same all the time. To try to work a bit more on the energy also. Okay, yeah, let's continue. Okay, guys, last one for today actually, because then I need to go. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, nice title of the track. Let me see here. No, Clam Up. Let's listen. All right. Kind of unique track actually. I don't know if I like it or not hate it, but it's different. That's for sure. There are some really nice elements in there. First of all, I would actually remove like this vocal. I hope it's not like I hope it's a sample that you can just remove. And because really I don't think like the vocal brings anything. It's very like in the background, very high cut, so it doesn't really give anything, you know. So, and also I think you have one really nice thing about this track, and that's the part that starts here without the vocal, but yeah, this ARP thing that starts playing, like this ARP melody, is really nice, and I really like the chord progression also. That's very unique, and really like the variation of the sound. That's really nice. That's really my cup of tea, you know, like this delay kind of thing. It's very nice. You know, I'm thinking about the producer. I don't know his name. What's his name? Because it's such a good reference. He's very famous. What's his name? Because he usually does this minimal kind of stuff. Do I have some kind of song? No, what is called? No. What's his called? Noti? No. Do anybody know who I'm talking about? Anti-O, yes, of course, Anti-O. So this is a really nice reference, like this, for instance. It's very minimal, and it has this kind of melancholic vibe that you're also having in your track. So listen to this track, for instance. It's very minimal, but he really pays attention to the details, you know. And really choosing like interesting drum samples. So I would maybe try to go the same kind of route with your track. Like listen to this guy and get some inspiration. So what I would try making is to like remove this part and work more on this, make this ARP lead here like the main thing, like this kind of lead melody, and have it build up, and then you can have almost like this, and here you can like that. So it really builds up with the filter and then boom down, and that like maybe something like that to make it really interesting. I think he has another track also, maybe this one here. Yeah, exactly. So like this kind of vibe here, like. So I really think like this. Maybe like this. Yeah, you get the idea. So focus on this part here and play around, make it very minimal, but try to choose interesting drum samples and work around with the arrangement. I mean, that's just my matter of taste and some ideas that I get straight over my head. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. No more demos, and I'm actually on overtime, 9 minutes due. So yeah, gotta go. But great time. I will try to do this kind of live streams at least once a month, actually. And also don't forget that I just released a new track called Loud Noises out on Sikora this Friday it was released, and last Friday, And also I just launched my Patreon, so I have a bunch of different memberships, everything from just me giving feedback, or if you want, like, I will post all my detailed track breakdowns on that. I will post some of them for free on my YouTube channel, but mostly I will post on my Patreon. All tracks that I'm releasing, I will post me breaking down the track at least within a month of me releasing that track. And then I have, if you want detailed feedback and if you want to do one-on-one session, I have that also. So I have a bunch of different memberships also. Okay, guys, thank you for today, and yeah, have a good night or day or whatever.